We're getting closer to the final day here at Blast Premier, but we've got plenty more fun to have on our overtime show as we're back once again. And this time around, we've got Astralis' Bubzkji with us. How you doing, man? Thank you very much for joining us.
I'm doing fine. It's a little hot in here, but...
It is damn hot in here. No, I'm glad you said that to start off. It's like, cool, we just start sweating, it'll be fine. Launders is back as well. Semmler's here at the same time. It's time for us to enjoy. We should all start with our cheers.
Sure.
I like how Bubzkji's the only one drinking water as well.
Of vodka
He's like the water. Oh, vodka. Ah, okay.
Someone pour it, yeah. There you go.
So is it Bubbers?
Bubber, my name?
Yeah.
And Denmark people call me Bubber.
Bubber, yeah.
Booba.
Booba. I mean, people, like, when Glaive says your name, he says Bubzkji.
Yeah,
Okay, well, explain.
my name is so bad that nobody knows how to pronounce it. I don't even know myself. So people went, how do you pronounce your name? I don't know, bro. I just wrote some letters, you know? And
what does it mean?
This is the whole Zipnex dilemma.
Yeah.
I've literally heard it both ways from Zip.
I can do the long story in a short way. Like, there's a Danish comedian called Bubba.
Okay.
So that's why people call me it. That was what I was named first. But then I thought, okay, I can't go pro and steal like a famous comedian's name. Mm-hmm. So then I looked at, it was pretty common to put ZKI after your name, like Ski, like Tenski or other players. And I stole that and I put the first part, Bubzkji, and then there's some Swedish guy who got backbanned. I didn't want to be associated with him, so I put the J on there. And here we are.
Oh, there's already a Bubzkji.
Yeah, there was like a BOBBZKY or something. Okay. And then I didn't want to be like close to him, so I changed.
Oh, man.
I was 16, man. Give me a chance. I was 17, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
so is it
that's the
Zipex,
thing
Zypex, or Zipnix?
I don't know. We don't talk names. We just call each other Andreas.
Oh, true.
You know?
Yeah.
It's true you're calling that, but then that could be like a rite of passage, you know, where it's like your team gives you your name.
Sure.
You know? So that's it. Now that you're on the main roster, they could give you a name, and this is your Astralis name that you've earned by becoming a part of the roster.
Would you change your name if you could?
Yeah, like now.
See, there you go. Glaive, if you're watching,
All right,
Glaive, get on it.
what would
Come
your
on.
new name be?
That's not
I think it
fair
would
to
just be
decide.
Bob, because like
Bob?
Yeah, Bob.
Like Bob's Burgers?
Yeah, for example, but that's kind of, I think it's going to be hard to write on Google like Bob. I don't think you're going to find me.
No, there's
you
going to be a lot of Bobs.
Yeah.
You got to be pretty good.
But
if you're pretty good, then
I
maybe
have
you
to
can
build
find
like an insane amount of experience together.
Yeah.
Like Bob the Builder, Bob's Burgers.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff there.
Okay, Bob. That's that.
I like mine way better.
Which is?
Well, obviously, it's the team that gives it to them.
Oh.
It's like a whole shamanistic ritual, you know,
right.
eventually.
Like a blood ritual when you get into the
Exactly.
team, like you get to hoo-ah.
Exactly. Shark bait, wah, you know?
Okay.
I saw that Glaive was the person who named Device. Or sorry, Device was the person who named Glaive. Did you know that?
What?
Glaive asked him on Steam what his name should be, and then he said Glaive.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it's pretty true. I think it's, yeah.
I think I saw it as Astralis content, so I hope it's
Never
true.
heard this. Yeah,
Astralis
exactly.
content.
Yeah.
No comment.
Here we are
So
with
moving
the
on.
face of Astralis content.
Straight past out of the names. How you been doing? Because obviously it's not been the greatest of time in the Astralis camp right now. You're putting in the hard grind.
Yeah, we're trying, you know, it's a little hard to game in these weathers, but we're trying to play a lot right now. The results haven't been optimal, to say the least, but we're working really hard to get back on track, even though we have some struggles of not having a main AWPer and so on. I think we've been doing, I think we did really bad in the IM summer, but I think we did pretty good at Flashpoint. We lost to Mousebot like with one round on each map, you know, and they were the winners eventually, so I think we are on the right path to do something better than what we're doing now.
You were good at Flashpoint. Then I think every other team in the interviews were like, they're still scary. Like even Nico's in interviews, like Astralis are still like a big threat. You've had some placings that, you know, they're posterable because you can be like, oh, they haven't made, you know, not made playoffs in this much time or whatever, but you still feel like the team is improving and still very strong.
Yeah.
You yourself have looked really good actually, so like, I don't know, do you feel comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going into any matches where we feel like, oh, we're going to lose this one. I feel like we don't have the upper hand in every game now, but I still feel like we can still pull a win on every match. Even though if we play Gambit, Navi or whatever it is, I still think we have a very good chance to beat them out if we prepare well and so on. So it's been better.
The composition of the team, that's something that, I mean, I personally talk about it a lot just because Glaive always talked about how if you came on the team, then you have him, Dupree, and yourself, which are three aggressive riflers, and Device is really like not, you know, it's an antithesis to that. He's like a kind of like slow playing opper, he's very careful and stuff. So is the composition problem a real thing on Astralis, or are you guys comfortable in the zone that you're in?
I mean, I would lie to say it's not a struggle to not have a real AWPer, you know. It's always going to be your main carry often that it's going to be your AWPer, but we didn't really have a natural-born AWPer, so we are going to be working a lot around solutions on how to not define a new meta, but at least find a way to play without the AWP as much. And I think we are a tactical team, then I think it can work. If we weren't, I think we would be struggling a lot. But we're doing really well in defaults right now, at least in practice and so on. So that's kind of what calms us a little bit, because if you can do a good default now, you can win a lot of rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything, I was actually curious about this considering the role shift that was going along, but was there anything in particular that your teammates told you when you took on your role on the team? Was there any kind of like under the table, like here, this is kind of like a tip that will help you in this situation?
I mean, I think they've been very nice to me in the way that just try to emulate yourself and don't try to like beat Device or beat the Pix or anyone else, you know. Play the way you want to, and if it doesn't work, we're gonna have to look at it again, you know. Play at my strengths, and that's what I've been doing. I think it's been, I don't think I would try to play like something that I wasn't. I've always been kind of known for being a little like an aggressive lurker, you know. But it was hard before, but it's a little bit easier now to do it. So.
Do you have any pressure to be like Dupree now that Dupree ops? Is that one thing that
that's the main, that's one of the big topics,
yeah. I think there's always going to be a lot of pressure on Astralis due to the way that the fans expect results and the way the storylines has built over the years. I don't think it's been seen in any other sports than that a team has been so dominant for basically 3 to 4 years almost. So it's definitely difficult to handle the pressure in that sense, but I think we're working it out of it pretty easily in the fact that we have so much experience and they can help me. Like, okay, I think they're also very good at defending me when we do interviews and so on. When people try to maybe like point out, oh, Device is leaving, is Bubzkji the new guy? I think they're always very kind to me and saying like, it's definitely not his fault or.
I've heard them say that they've learned from you and like they've learned from the new guys. Is how they put it. Like throughout all the iterations and stuff, they always kept an open mind. I don't know if you had another question, but I wanted to ask about just like the day-to-day life outside of Astralis, where you're just around in Copenhagen, because you talked about this a little bit. There's a lot of brand power with Astralis. Semmler just got recognized last night. Someone brought me a freaking case of beer when I was like, you know, at a dock in the middle of the day. Like, everyone knows about Counter-Strike here. So you're on the team. That's pretty much the reason that Counter-Strike is so famous here. What's it like? You live in Copenhagen. What's it like day to day? Do you get recognized a lot?
It's a little bit bad sometimes when I don't own a driver license, I don't own a car, so I really do have to take public transportation or
with
my bicycle. Yeah, with the normies, normie gang. I respect the normies, I was a normie 1 year ago, you know. Like, it's a little bit annoying when people who know you just point at you and say you're that guy and don't interact at all. But I really do enjoy people who are like genuinely nice and say, hey, aren't you that guy? Yeah, okay, I really like to see your games and so on, you know. But the worst ones are those who say, oh, I'm your fan, and say, yeah, thanks, and then, but you have to step up. Those are the worst.
Oh my God,
yeah,
no way.
Wait, what?
No, I think
tell them we have to step up.
No, like we were eating out in a restaurant, like, I think it was 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago when we were boot camping. Then one guy, after we were done eating, he said, thanks for I'm a big fan, can I get a picture? And after we took the picture, he said, but you guys have to like be serious now, like.
Oh my God.
Get some results, you know, and we were like, yeah, okay, have a great night, man.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
This is the amazing thing, you know, that I remember many streamers, et cetera, have dealt with this in the past, where it's just like how you interact with fans.
Yeah.
And how you are held to a different standard. Because if anybody else went up to you, like in the street, and was just like, yeah, you need to really step up at your job, they'd be like, who are you? You know, like, what's going on here? But that's just not the standard you can live up to.
It's also very difficult for me because I came from a place where I was a little bit introvert or something. Like, I didn't really like to talk to too many strangers, you know. So then people suddenly coming up like that, it's a little strange, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting, because have you ever had that? Because I've never had that, a fan or somebody come up to me and like be negative.
No, never.
I've always had positive experiences in person. It's only on the internet where you get the little shitheads who come out.
That's it. You get the tweets and the posts.
Yeah, it's always on the
Everyone
internet.
face to face
I've
is fine.
never had that
I think
happen
it's
in
the
person.
level of connection they've built with their the fans, where they can they feel like they can talk to you as a friend or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
sorry, you're not. You know, like there is like a distance that has to be kept.
That's wild. That's absolutely
That's
wild.
I
uncomfortable.
think just that how the internet works, you know. You can say something into the space, and if you don't, they don't think I'm gonna grab it, you know.
Yeah.
Like if they write on Reddit, this guy's so bad, they don't expect me to see it. I just think they're gonna voice their opinion and see what other people think.
Sure.
But it kind of hits you sometimes. Like at least if it gets a big threat, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, we're all people.
In terms of obviously when you first joined Astralis, how was it for you at that part? Like, was it like a kind of dream come true moment? Because obviously you being so young, looking at these guys, was it like kind of surreal?
Yeah, it was kind of surreal because I learned from day one that it was so much different from what I've tried. Before, it was really get a paycheck and just play and don't do anything else, right? First I got into Astralis, hey, you're gonna shoot this video, you're gonna talk to these medias, and I'm like, okay, now I'm in the game, you know?
Yeah.
And okay, we're gonna get you a physician, we're gonna get you this stuff, and I'm like, okay. And I didn't really know what I was going into, but you kind of learned along the way what it was all about, you know? But it's very different from an international org where I was before with Mad Lions, where they don't really have a base where you are, they just you know, communicate via Discord, hey, how is it going? It's going fine. Then you don't hear from them from a month, you know, but then you get here who are like constant updates, constant ideas, content, stuff that needs to be done. It's very different.
That's crazy.
You stayed on the team for, you know, so long while you were Bubzkji.
Yeah,
right?
the meme,
and
the famous bench.
The best part about it was because, the best part about this whole meme phase was just that, like, I didn't even feel bad for making fun of you because you were a good player. Like, no one thought you were a bad player. It was only that you're wasting your time on the bench, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't feel, you know, bad making jokes about it because it wasn't like, it was like, felt like your decision to stay there. And so was it just of your own volition? Like, this is the best idea for me to stick around, to wait it out? Were you just the happiest? Like, what was that period, that waiting period like? Now you're on the starting five, obviously, but what was that period like? And like, what was your thought process doing that?
I think I learned a lot about myself in that period, you know, like which type of human I was, like how I interacted, because I wasn't able to show my skills. Like the only way I could help the team was to be like socially nice to everyone and like help the organization with every stuff that I could do. So I just learned like what am I willing to accept and so on in a scenario where I was playing. And yeah, I kind of just felt that someday that if I just kept at it, I get the shot, you know? And I felt that I've gone through too much to just like go out now, because I felt like if I say to my CEO, hey, I'm done for good, you know, I would probably never come back, right? So
Did you have that way out? Real quick, did you have that way out? Could you have backed out?
I mean, yeah, I could. At some point, I had different offers from other teams where I could just say back out, but it was towards the end, so I kind of felt there was like results wasn't going that great, you know, and I had a feeling that, okay, it's kind of weird when you're on a bench because you really want Astralis and the team to win, but you also want to play, and that kind of counter-interacts each other. So in the end, you kind of feel like, okay, if they lose now, maybe then I play tomorrow, you know. It's good.
That's a good point, right? Because like sitting on the bench in that way, you also want to play. Like a family member of mine played Premier League football, was on the bench for a really good team, getting stupid money, but like took a huge pay cut just so he could play again and stuff like that. So did that kind of thought cross your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think I heard stories about people trying to injure each other on the football pitch, you know, training. Where I'm like, let's say there's only 2 right backs in the club, then sorry, and then he's like injured for the game you have to play. You know, that's how brutal like sports can be when it's just it's composition and it's individual. It's everybody for himself. Even though it seems like a team game, it's very individual.
I just see those handshakes getting really intense now when you guys meet up at the Astralis office. Like, how's it going, man? It's been a while.
The Astralis talent boys coming over to us like, hey, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Just working on that. I see you there with the grip strength. You know,
so how much were you death matching when you were just waiting? Like, were you still?
I was I was super motivated right in the start, so I played so much in the start. But I kind of fell through in the start and lost my spot to S-Attack. After that, it was more. I just played a shitload of phases. I didn't really play so much deathmatch and so on, but because I just really missed the feeling of playing, and I had some like high-tier friends, you know, on Faceit, and it still got quite competitive because we were good, you know. And Faceit level 10 nowadays on like 3K elo, like shit's serious, you know. Like it's almost
sweating.
Yeah, it's sweating. Finnish people and Russian
Finnish
people.
5 stacks of
Finnish 5 stacks and Russian 5 stacks. Those are not for children, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw some stat like there are the most globals in the world are from Finland or something like that.
It's such a small country. That's pretty wild, isn't it?
I think it was the percentage player base or whatever, but it's like almost 5% of the player base in Finland is global.
Yeah, I got such a.
And meanwhile, Ents has like what, 1 Finnish player?
Let's not talk about Ents, huh?
You're so mean, Launders. What about what stuff you do like outside of just Counter-Strike? What do you do outside of all this Astralis stuff? What things do you like to do?
Watch football. I really enjoy it. Like, I really enjoy the European football being here now. I don't really get to watch any of the games due to the way either tickets are like sold out instantly, or I have a match on the day. Like, it's kind of the way that the scene works. You know, it's very hard to plan. You probably know it.
Oh yes.
Yes, it's very hard to plan like 10 days in front. So I just watch them from home and enjoy that right now. And yeah. We have a good national team now. It's been a long time since we've actually been great, even though we are not doing too great now, even though there's been some weird circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was intense.
Yeah.
What about gym? Anything else like that? You do that?
Does it look like...
You might do some cardio. Let Launders go gym.
He doesn't, bro. He's...
He does.
What the?
Climbs.
I
That
run.
doesn't
I
really
climb,
necessarily count, but yeah.
I DM. That's shoulder workout.
But yeah, I don't like. It's weird because I only eat 2 times a day. It's
Oh damn, that's not good.
It's, no, like
Okay.
it's good because I order food. That's like it's not every day. You know, when I'm in the office, I kind of do cardio and so on. But when I get on the lazy periods when I'm home, I kind of just order twice a day or once, and it's just like a very heavy meal. So I get my calories, but I feel too bad to like snacking. I don't snack a lot.
That's fine though.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's like you don't need to eat 3 a day.
No, it's just
Especially
I don't need to like breakfast, you know, normally.
Too Good lived off of frozen pizza forever. You have like
Because
one
you guys
free-
don't have
frozen
good
pizza a
cereals
day.
here, that's why.
We do.
You only have the Choco Crunch, whatever that
I have
everyone
the
buys.
Cocoa Pops.
That's it.
Yes, Cocoa Pops. There
Everyone
we
just
go.
eats that, and I think you have like a good selection.
Frosties.
Those are just
Frosty the
frosted mini
Tiger.
wheats, but like off-brand. Some off-brand stuff. What's your Counter-Strike history? Like, did you start at 1.6 or?
No, I started in Counter-Strike Source. And
Yeah.
I just started cheating my ass off. Like, like I went on.
Like everybody in Source.
Although everything bad came from
Legit,
Source. and all the
I
people
downloaded a program called Cheat Engine, and it was it was literally-
Use that in Habbo Hotel and
yeah,
Neopets and stuff.
exactly. And I have no idea how a system that is so bad cannot ban you when you have that on. It's literally just a program, and you go into the program and you open it and so on, and you would put all draw the models on 2 instead of 1, and then it would just be wall hack. I think I got like in my entire career over like 4 years, I maybe got like 3 back bans.
And you're going like straight 4 years.
Yeah, straight go. Just playing on casual servers. Like I didn't play competitively. I just went like Højhus 9 it was called, which is like a casual map where people was just everybody was cheating. You know? So yeah, that was my story.
Some people like now don't really understand, but like back then, like now it's like a war crime if you cheat or if you get back then. But like back then, you used to go to an internet cafe and there would just be like an array of cheats installed on desktop. You just pick one,
Everybody just
Lampert
had blue
on,
screens.
freaking wall X-ray, like wireframe, and you're just like,
dude.
And then you'd play. Me and my friends used to sit down on different LAN PCs and then play 5v5 versus each other, all with cheats on, knowing the other ones are cheating. And
Sure.
just like try to kill each other
Who's
with
the better
a
cheat?
fatter wall bang on Ice World or something. You know what I mean? Who's got the deep wrangle? Like who can get the damage in first?
Well, before you had all the software as well, like now it's really efficient to like crunch demos and crunch information, right? Like what the people are doing.
Yeah.
But before then, like I know pros who like, oh yeah, we used to have like walls on during scrims, so we could run a strat and see exactly what they did when we ran the strat,
that was a thing.
and just
Yeah.
be more efficient with our time. And I'm like, dude, if you well, obviously you can never do that now, but like back then in Source, like that was a thing.
Yeah.
All right then.
I would also say like it generally learned me a lot about the game by cheating.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about rotations that you don't normally learn in the early parts of career. You're just running around.
This is such a bad
trying to
message,
see
but
it
it's
all
really
the-
true.
yeah, we-
No, and you learn that there's only 5 players on the map. That's the other thing. You're like less scared when you're peeking stuff.
Yeah,
because
like
just-
you learn the timings. Okay, they can be there on
This
this
is so bad,
timing,
we
and
should
you
stop
and you.
No, it's not.
No,
though.
it's,
That
no,
was
it's
the
actually
thing.
because I can stand on, let's say, I play Mirage, you know. I look to my left, okay, the guy is on A side, now I try to make some noise on B. Ah, okay, he's
Get some
coming now.
windows, yeah.
Yep.
You know, and you understand that from an early stage in your career, it's very important. It's
Would you
different-
credit all of your success
No,
to
no, probably. Then I still would be
That's
cheating.
the obvious follow-up. It's different times now. I legitimately was wondering that a few years back when I had that conversation. I was like, man, if we had that now as a training tool for pros, you know, like how good would CSGO pros be now? But I mean, now you got tools like Shadow and all these other
we
things,
got
you know,
a-
where it's so efficient now to just go through and
It's
see.
just straight data.
So yeah, I don't
How much
think
do you
it's the same
rely
thing.
on that data when it comes to preparing? How much is just like your experience?
It really depends on the opponent. If we haven't met them before in a long time, we're really doing our due diligence, you know, trying to see all the stats, how much they go B, how much they go A in percentages, how much they do these type of flashes, how much they default and so on. Like we really like raw data instead of like analyzing demos as much. I think that's better if you can get like numbers and stuff instead of, because it can get very daunting sitting on a screen 2 hours before a match.
Oh, it's inefficient, yeah.
Yeah, if you just keep, okay, they do this again, oh yeah, they do this again. It's very easy if you have like a guy who can just say, I watched 10 demos, I'm gonna explain 2 core things, and then I'm gonna show you the data, you know.
That's the important thing with an analyst. I mean, to me, like Big or an analyst wet dream. It's like, oh man, what are they doing on Dust 2? Well, let's look at the 25 demos that we have in officials.
Yeah,
you
but they
know,
do a lot of stuff.
and just see. It's nuts.
Do you have any opinions on that? Like Mirage and Dust 2, like Dust 2 is a home map, like big picket.
No.
They lost it twice in a row here, but they have like a really high win.
Yeah,
Those two should be no one's main pick.
They just pick it all the time, I remember that. But yeah, it seems very bad to have like just one reliable pick, because nowadays people are so good at entry chatting.
Yeah.
You could do it back in the days when like 2016, you could just pick like a Astralis pick nuke like so many times in a row, you know. But people nowadays learn so quickly that you cannot just keep doing the same. I think it really works when you surprise people in the video nowadays.
Yeah, super important. Outside of Counter-Strike, any other games you play, or are you just fully dedicated to CS?
I'm gonna say the forbidden word. Like I play a little bit of Valorant, but it's very little. But then I play.
Listen, I'm all right with that. For a second there, I was like, oh my God, he's going to say
World of
Fortnite.
Warcraft.
No, I thought he was going to say Fortnite for a second. I was like,
Well, World of Warcraft's the career killer, man. You get sucked into that, that's
the
it.
3 Ws, man.
We're thinking about doing a little World of Warcraft run here when we're going to like
That's
the
the
next
end of an era
event.
right there.
The next
Two
event.
Danish CS.
The next event we're going to, I think it's gonna be Cologne. I think we're gonna be in quarantine for a couple of days. And we're not allowed to go outside or anything, so we talked about doing like, of course we have to like have long practice days, but afterwards there's still like 9 hours.
Can't do anything,
We can't do anything, and me and Dupree talked about, okay, are we gonna play a little TPC there?
Start from level 1, go to
not?
70. I'll just say, right, World of Warcraft nearly killed my whole career. Probably wouldn't be sat here today. Like, I just got sucked into that, just didn't turn up to practice, was just playing the damn
I think
game.
at Blast London, the team, like before, we're playing like so much Tarkov, I think it was.
Yeah, they played a lot of different games.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know if Zonic was there or someone like walked out of the practice room and was like, we're going to lose tomorrow. And then
But I think it's very healthy to you to not only just play one game. People like compare it. I think people have a like, oh, you're playing something else than your main game. What are you doing? Like, get into your main game.
Yeah.
The thing that if you keep playing the game, you just get, like, you don't get burned out, but you just get, like, if you keep working, just the amount of hours, like, just quality over quantity, you know? It doesn't really help to play 10 hours a day if it's just like, if you're just not thinking about it.
yeah.
You said the horrible V word, right? And do you worry about playing Valorant that maybe because of the difference in style of aim and play that it might affect how you
No,
aim in
because
CS?
I only tap in Valorant. I don't ever. That's like I just only tap if I play. I don't.
For real?
Yeah, I only tap, and because I don't want to get used
get
to
a
the
Guardian.
spraying.
just
Yeah.
Yeah, just buy. I think it's called the Guardian.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
one. But yeah, I don't really play it that much, but like a little bit I do it.
I like
Also League of Legends, so 2 riot games. Really.
Okay.
Time's
Fair
near.
enough. I mean,
Retirement home soon.
In terms of that though, right? Like for me, I couldn't play another FPS. If I was playing seriously on CS, I go to Valorant all the time.
Yeah.
I have to focus on one or the other. I can't adjust like that at all.
yeah, but it's not about focusing on it, you know what I mean? Like, I totally get that, just having a completely separate game to just detach on.
Yeah, I take like an MMO or something. What I mean is like if I want to go from like playing Valorant and then go to like play some CS, I'm definitely gonna mess some stuff up in CS and not be hitting
But
shots.
I think that's because it's my job, and I can move my skill set from another game to another game when it's fun.
Yep.
Even
You have to
though-
enjoy it.
Yeah, so I haven't enjoyed it. I would tilt so much if I went into like Dark Souls or something. Or I just die
where I
every second.
relax.
That's the Launders game,
That's it.
definitely.
Like, I would
Souls
tilt so much
statue.
because I would be so bad. So I just enjoy doing something where I don't have to put in massive amount of hours to learn it, because that would be like take focus away from my work. Then I could rather play like, let's say 4 games Valorant a week if I wanted to, you know, because it's not really something I have to invest into. I hate being bad at games, so I just take easy games that I'm good at from the start.
Competitive drive.
Yeah.
Now, also while you're here, because we were discussing this on the opening shows, the Royal Arena, we're going back there for the full finals, but you guys got to make it there, right?
Yeah.
How important is that for you personally to try and be in that Royal Arena? Because that's something special.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest event that we're ever going to get in Denmark, right? So that's what we're working towards. I think it's also a really prioritized event for us. We're going to have to do really well in the blast groups.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get a good group. I hope you can fix a little thing down there.
I wish it was my
your
power,
magic
man.
like you normally do.
Sadly, I wouldn't be putting you guys. I'd be like looking after my Navi boys, just stick them in a good spot. But
Okay.
maybe I'll give you the second spoon.
Yeah,
He's not shy to be biased. but
Hopefully we
that's not
just,
towards anyone
hopefully
else.
we're gonna like get a little bit better than we are now, and then we're gonna have a very good chance of making it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be completely unreasonable to think we're gonna be there without too much of a hassle.
With what Launders was saying, right, about like teams still saying you guys are scary, how does it feel like during practice? I know scrims are scrims, but like, how does it feel to you guys? You feel like you are close to like getting through to that part where you can be like, oh, okay, we're here to play? And is there maybe, I don't know, some sort of like confidence knock on some of you guys?
I think it's been kind of ironic with practice in Astralis because I remember joining the team and they said before they won the Berlin Major, they lost all practices. And they thought like, okay, guys, we're gonna have to do something soon. It's so bad. They went into the major, won everything, and then everything was good. Like, so we don't take too much into practice.
Yeah.
We try to value official games more and see how it's going. But I think we've been doing better than we've been doing before. So at least we're going in the right direction, you know.
Can you talk about?
I was just having flashbacks to NACS talking about winning scrims coming to European tournaments.
Yeah, and then the
I was
Berlin
just
Major
like,
and Liquid
please
loses.
don't tell me about, talk to me about your scrims and how
Yeah,
you're
it's-
winning your scrims, you know? Like,
It's actually
It's
bad
a very bad
juju.
measure.
pardon me?
It's a bad measure,
Yeah.
way to measure your...
It's no value. Like, if
Yeah.
you should be running the same strat 10 times. Like, it doesn't matter if you win the round or lose the round. Like, you know what I mean? It's practice. It's not.
Some teams also like, there's some teams, you know, can be very consistent in practice, but some teams are also really trying to do different stuff. Maybe they haven't even played DM before they go into a game, so it's very like hard to say, are we playing good or are they just really bad right now? So,
Sure. Right.
For you as a player, right, because you are so young, like, where do you set your goals and your aspirations personally for all of this? Because you're on a team that's like done so much legendary stuff in Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Like, where do you set the bar? Is it maybe higher than what other players who be at this point in their career would set it?
I don't think I don't try to leech off their results as something I have accomplished, you know. I'm a brand new guy into a new team. So first step for me is just to make it to the major. I've never been to a major before, so
Yeah.
I just want to be there, you know. I'll be in Stockholm, and then the next time I'm probably gonna have some like higher expectations to myself, and you know, I don't want. If I pleasured the fans here, I would say, yeah, I expect to be top 1 in 2 months, you know. But I'm gonna be realistic to myself and something that I can go after.
You should put a Bob on the signature.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna submit soon, I guess, if we're gonna make it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to come up with the signature and everything.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna look good with the current one, but we're doing a signing session tomorrow, and my signature is so long. So I feel like, do you have a good like way of me doing my signature?
I'll show you afterwards. I'll definitely show you how to do it.
There you go.
I mean, at this point, really, just let the team come up with a new name, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Have like a seance or something after a scrim.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Just let them come up with a new name, and then you can get a new signature.
Put
You guys
Bob
keep
with-
talking. I can draw. I'm going to do him one now.
Oh no.
I thought about doing
Don't say, oh no.
I'm thinking about doing the B set, but I'm pretty sure B set in Denmark is like
What does that mean?
Bubzkji, but like
Oh.
yeah, exactly. It doesn't work like that.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
B
like the
and set,
signature.
yeah, just to shorten my signature. But I'm pretty sure there's like something called the B set movement in Denmark, which
Okay.
was like a people who like literally robbed people's homes.
What?
Because they,
Good
I
association
think they were
right there.
against like liberalism, so they like captured rich people's house and just took them. And
Right. That's
Well,
what I wanna
okay
know.
then.
You'd be like Robin Hood.
yeah, I didn't really want to be associated with those guys because they killed people and so on. So that was-
That's a good
You do people online.
good thing to be aware of.
That's just the roughest with the hand, but you know, like
Yeah,
focus
I
on the
could do,
B.
but bro,
You gotta show the
like,
camera.
If I have to do like 3 hours of those, you know.
But I did that real quick, just like a little spin, you know.
But have you ever signed a jersey?
Yeah, it's very difficult.
It's,
Very,
the
mouse
material
pads,
is
mouse
so-
pads are the best. I'm always down to sign mouse pads.
Oh,
That's not a
paper is the
problem.
best.
Yeah, okay, paper. That's not many people come on paper. It's always like mouse pad,
Paper,
keyboard
yeah.
stuff. We'll work on it after the show. You know, we'll do it out. Right, we're getting ready to the closing points. So, Launders, last things. Anything you want to say?
I just want to ask, like, I think Glaive's probably my favorite IGL, which is probably an easy choice, but like, what's it like to play with Glaive, and like, does he stand out a lot from your other IGLs, or is it really, you know, the team magic that brings things together?
I think he's very unique in the way he's very innovative. He's always been very dynamic in the way of calling. He's never been, okay, we're only gonna do this one or only gonna do that way. He's always gonna adapt to what the meta is. Like, okay, it's utility based. Okay, I'm gonna find a way how to incorporate into my game plan. And I think he's doing that as well now, where it's very default based. Astralis was very known for their strats and, you know, before, but now it's more default based gameplay that we're seeing right now, and I think we're trying to adapt that. And I think he's been the first one to really get into that. So for me, definitely the best I've played with, but I haven't played with that many yet. Hunden and Cillian and him.
I mean, I guess I was just going to follow up on that, really, with Zonic. We haven't mentioned Zonic once this entire time.
true.
And I mean, like, how much of an impact has Zonic had as a coach? Because, I mean, he is the guy, the mastermind behind the team.
Like, he's the dad, you know.
Yeah.
Like, he's the dad of the team. I think without him, stuff would be rough because he's very good at like getting us all on the same page. Yeah, he's been really like a great guy, really a good friend of mine as well. Really respect him as a person and his values and so on.
That was fantastic.
Anything you want to say before we end it out, mate? Anything you want to say to everyone out there?
Follow me on Twitter.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You can find the name.
you got some banging tweets. You got some
Yeah,
character
yeah,
in your
yeah.
tweets.
Sometimes.
What do you do? Just randomly think of something, just like, okay, cool, because that's what he does. He just
Yeah.
tweets whatever's going through his head.
But I hate tweeting when we do bad because then I feel like it gives off the impression that I'm not serious.
Yeah.
But when it's going good, I normally come up with a lot of shit posts.
Oh, I mean, dude, you've got Glaive as inspiration.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
he is a troll.
Yeah.
Is he? I've
He
never
said some
done
funny
interviews
shit
with him.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like the Lucas, I am in control of my social media.
Yes, yeah.
That was good.
I enjoy a good Glaive tweet.
Yeah.
Well, I'll look for more of them tweets. Go make sure you follow him on Twitter. We're done for another overtime show. We just got 2 more days left here for Blast Premier Spring Finals. We have to see who's going to grab the win. Another team will be going home tomorrow. And you guys, well, we're going home. So make sure you join us back tomorrow for more of the action. Stick with us.